Okay, sorry for the delay. We were having some issues with connections. But hello and welcome to our fifth Sitecore user group session. In this opportunity, we will talk about Sitecore commerce and some of its capabilities. Today we will have two presenters, Herald Dave and Navid Ahmad, but I will let them introduce themselves. Herald will do a session especially for newbies to Sitecore commerce. It's like an introduction to Sitecore commerce. And Navid will showcase some of the capabilities of Sitecore commerce and what can do with it. So let's begin, Herald. All yours.
Thanks, Auntie. Hello, everyone. My name is Hital, and I work at Warndell Corporation in a tech lead capacity. I've been working with Sitecore since 2007, version 5.3, and up to now, Sitecore 9. And I have worked with various commerce technologies like Commerce Server, uCommerce, Inside Commerce, and integrations, commerce platform integrations with Sitecore solutions over the years. Today, the presentation that I am going to do is mainly for engineers who are new to the commerce world and at times find themselves sort of lost in different commerce terminologies being thrown at them while they are in meetings, and they don't quite follow what the terminology is. So just to make everyone a little more familiar with different e-commerce terminologies and what a typical commerce project life cycle looks like and what challenges and fun it entails. So hopefully you will find this presentation useful. It might be even be able to help you be well prepared for if you are planning a Sitecore commerce training or any other commerce training, so that you won't be lost when the instructor is just going with one lab after the other. You will be able to follow through that what they mean when they say some e-commerce words like catalog and category and sell group and sellable item and stuff like that. So without much ado, I'll start sharing my screen. Santi, can you let me know if you are seeing the slide mode?
Yes, we can see. No, we are seeing your desktop, and now, yeah, we can see now the slideshow mode.
Okay, so you are seeing the first slide, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm trying to compare with a brick and mortar store versus an online store, so that it makes sense in terms of flow of user experience. And during this journey, I will try to make everyone familiar with what you are seeing in a brick and mortar store, how it transpires into an online store, and what the words that you will hear a lot off and on. So what do you typically do? You enter a store. So you walk in a store when you go to a store or a mall, versus you type in a URL when you go to an online store. How does the shopping experience look like when you go to a store? You enter the store, you find what you are looking for, you put that in your basket or in your cart, you come back to the counter or to the concierge or to the checkout counter. You pay with your credit card or these days even with your smartphone. You collect your bags and you walk out of the store. Now, how this whole experience transpires in online world? You enter the URL, which is sort of similar to entering the store. Then you start looking for things, which kind of translates to browsing. And when you start looking for things, you are browsing the catalog. The catalog is collection of whatever the store has that you can purchase. Then you put that in your cart. It's the same terminology in commerce world. It's called cart or basket. That word doesn't change much. Sometimes it's called shopping cart or shopping basket, but the ideology is same. The checkout is fun process. So now, before you can come to the counter or pay, that process changes. So now when you come to the checkout, you have to provide the address because you are not physically present there. So you provide your shipping address, and then you provide your billing address that is associated with your credit card. I'm sure most of you have done this a lot of time on Amazon or any other online shopping websites. Then a final page comes where you review it all, like what how your order is going to be shipped and when you are likely to get your order, and then you can make the final decision of placing or submitting the order. And that's the terminology for when you collect your bags. It kind of translates into order in e-commerce terminology. And then you get an order confirmation email that we have received your order. And then when your order is shipped, you also receive an email or a text notification that your order has been shipped. And most of the time, depending on the website that you have done your purchase on, they also send you like a tracking ID, which kind of connects you to either FedEx or UPS or USPS websites, where you can track your order in real time, and you can figure out, or you can track basically where exactly your order is, like it left the facility, it's now on the truck and out for delivery, that kind of thing. And then you finally receive your order. So receive your order kind of translates to walk out of the store. So in a brick and mortar store, everything happens quick. But you need to be physically present, versus on an online shopping experience, obviously you are not physically present there, and the experience is basically driven by a website. And that's why it's more important to make your customer feel comfortable, at the same time making sure that the business needs of the website or the shopping where you are doing the shopping is met with. So catalog. So basically catalog is the shop floor. So when you walk into the store, whatever you see is the catalog, is the entire store. And then in the store, when you walk in, you have departments. There is a men's department, women's department, kids, shoes, cosmetics, accessories, etc. Then there is kitchen department, and then there is bed department, and there is bathroom accessories, depending on the nature of business of that particular store. So that word, sometimes when you ask them, where can I find this, and they will say go to men's aisle or women's aisle or aisle number 4. So that kind of translates into the word department. It's very much possible that the notion of department and category might be one thing in some of the commerce website or commerce projects you might work on. So don't get confused, and be okay with it if there is no department layer but you straight dive into category. So it is possible that and or again it becomes both of it. So men and shirts, they both are departments, but they both could be categories too. And there is some fun in those crossovers. I'll get to it soon. Then once you go to the men's department in a brick and mortar store, then you probably would look for shirts or tops. If you are into a women department, you probably look for skirts or shorts or suit or sandals or flip flops. Perfumes, those are category under each department, or they could be their own departments, which can have categories like men and women, and those are the crossovers. So then once you get to a category is a group of products or group of cell groups. So a cell group itself means that it's a group of products that tied together by characteristics like material or fabric or style, that kind of stuff. So in commerce world, you will hear this word a lot. When you buy a shirt in e-commerce terminology, it's a product or a sale group or a sellable product or a sellable item. Words could be unlimited, but they are mainly is something that the user can finally purchase. A user is not going to be a user will not purchase an entire category. What a user purchases is a product or sale group or sellable product. It could be a shirt, a pair of sandals, a bottle of perfume, a bottle of wine. Now, then comes the fun of variant. So it is possible there are times when a product is available just in one. For example, if you are buying like a cookingware set, so it's just one thing, it's one product, and there are no different variations into it. But when you are buying a shirt, there could be variations like a size or color, or like even within the size there could be ranges, like a standard sizes versus big and tall sizes, or extra small sizes, that kind of stuff. And all those variances you would need to handle in a e-commerce website, and that's called a variant or a variant product in e-commerce world. So when you buy a red shirt of, say, size medium, it's it's a product that you are buying with that variance. And then there are crossovers. So crossovers are fun, as I just described. That you could go to men's department when you are in a brick and mortar store. You could go to a men's department and just find clothing there. But then you go to shoes department and you find like there are separate aisles for men's shoes, separate aisles for women, and separate aisles for kids. Now think about that, browsing while you are browsing online. So you could click on men's, and then when you go to men's you can find like shirts, trousers, shorts, shoes, etc. Or the same thing, if you click on shoes from the main menu, you could drill down to men's and party shoes or sports shoes, etc. So those are the crossovers, and those are those can get really interesting. You could get to like for example, a size 10 men's sandal or a size 10 women's sandal in two different ways, but still end up at the same products page. um, then comes prices. So prices are real fun. So there is actual price. Think about it when you go to a brick and mortar store. So, and think about going to a clearance aisle where you say that 70% more on marked price. So you are basically going to calculate that, okay, whatever I'm seeing on the tag, I'm going to pay 70% or 50% even less on that. So this is the actual price that I'm going to pay. And then when you go to counter, based on whether it's after tax or before tax, the actual price that you pay on this and that entire item might vary a little, but not too much. So you would kind of know what the actual price is. So then there is sell price. So maybe there is already sell going on, and then because you have a coupon, you are getting an extra discount on that, and that drives your actual price. And then there is like always base price, that when that product was received from the distributor, say $20 was the base price, and then however the retailer tries to sell it, that's how the price will be tagged. And above all, there is a member price. So there are all sorts of prices going on, but just because you are a member or you have a rewards card, you get additional 5% discount. So that will change your actual price. So that's like, here is where e-commerce gets a little tricky, because it's simpler when you are looking at a tag and calculating price for one shirt that you want to buy, versus making all these calculations in a code component or a piece of uh, logic that you are implementing. It's essential that you get that right. And many a times I have seen bugs mainly in this area, that the price is not calculated correctly, or the taxes are not calculated correctly, or the taxes kind of vary by 1 cent, and that becomes a big difference when we are talking about thousands of dollars. So something to be prepared for, aware of, and make sure that you get it right, and you ask as many as questions possible when you are identifying the specifications around business rules of calculating prices. Now, after all that, inventory is yet another beast, but it's fun. When you are buying a product online, sometimes you see a message like only 7 left. Now, where is that coming from? There has to be something informing the website or our solution or our application that there are this many products left. And that's where inventory tracking comes in place. It could be done in many ways. Some stores or some online websites do real-time inventory. So whenever somebody tries to add a product to cart, and that's when they check the real inventory, that how many are left. But most of the time they will show cached inventory. So there are strategies around it, how that needs to be determined, that how do we display what kind of inventory, like how do we want to display inventory to the user, and how we want to handle it. um, when it comes to inventory, there is also another aspect, that even if the product says out of stock, but in the inventory setting in most commerce platform, you can set that even if this product is out of stock, we know that more and more will be coming in. So we want the users to be able to order or back order the products, so they can put a number that up to 1,000 of these red shirts I'm going to allow to be back ordered. So if a product is run out of stock, even though it shows out of stock, you could still show a message to your customer that they are out of stock, but you can back order them. And then you once they come in stock, you can process the order and then you can ship it for them. Similar way, you can also have pre-order, which is a very familiar word for Apple crazies out there. They love to pre-order everything. So that's another thing, that they know this product is brand new and it's going to be available on certain date, and they know that on that date we will have this bulk inventory available, but they announce it in advance, so that people can pre-order them, and they know that on this date it will be available, and after it's available I will receive it in so many days. So that's a little introduction to how inventory plays in e-commerce world. And after your entire journey to catalog and understanding what you are buying, how much you are going to pay for it, do they have that in stock, you are finally able to add the product to cart. And that's where another layer of commerce starts. So just a quick catch up. You have catalog. Catalog can have departments and or categories or subcategories. Then categories or subcategories would have products or sale group or sellable product. Then there is a variant, if possible, and then there are crossovers where you can reach to one product with multiple ways on an online store. Then there are prices that you need to make sure that you are calculating and displaying them correctly. Then check the inventory whether this product is available, and if it's not available, what are the business rules to drive user experience, and ultimately user being able to add to cart. One piece I missed was variant and prices, how they are connected. So sometimes, usually, like if you're buying a shirt or pair of shoes, the price will not change no matter what size you buy. So you could be buying a size 7 sandal or size 10 sandal, and the price will be, say, just will be same, like $20, for example. But that won't be true if you are buying a 1 carat diamond ring versus 0.5 carat diamond ring. So in that situation, even if the product is kind of called something like engagement ring or a wedding ring, it will have variants, and the price will be on the variants, not on the product. So that is something to keep in mind, asking the question when you are kind of setting up the catalog structure or catalog schema, which is another word you would hear a lot, that where exactly the prices are to be set. Are they going to be set at the variant level or at the product level? Moving on. Now we come to the cart. A cart also is an interesting component of checkout. Here is where you imagine you going to the counter in the brick and mortar store, and you have a printed coupon, and then you show that coupon to the counter, and they apply that discount. That's the same thing you do here, and you can enter your promo code. If you are already signed in, it will maybe show you different price. And this is what I was talking about. See, regular price is $50 or $49.99, but the sale price is $14.99. And imagine me having another promo code that's going to give me another 30%. So that will show up somewhere here, that how much money I saved and what exactly I'm going to pay for this order. The tax is based on the tax will be based on wherever I am buying that product from. So if I am buying that product from Vermont, I the Vermont taxes will apply. If I'm buying that product from New York or from LA, those taxes will apply. And then there are estimated shipping charges. So usually it shows like the list shipping charges, but again, all of these will depend on what your client or the business that you are developing e-commerce solution for is asking for. It all, like, basically the business drives the user experience. So business and consultants and the marketing department, they all work together. So marketing and engineering team really blur into each other when it comes to driving the overall experience while making sure that the e-commerce aspect of the solutions are still intact. Another interesting aspect is this row that you are seeing. So there is an item, the name of the item, color, like whatever color, if it's applicable, web ID. This is the unique ID of the item. Now, why it says web ID? So when you buy this item from a brick and mortar store, and also again, it depends how that particular business handles the unique IDs for their items. Usually it's called like either web ID or SKU, or there could be product SKU and variant SKU. So basically, it's a unique identifier or a combination of unique identifiers that you will have to deal with. And then again, this depends whether the business wants to show this here or not. But if we minus the delivery part of it, it's basically item, how many of those items you are buying, and price of that item. So quantity, you can update the quantity, and when you update the quantity, the ideal experience is, or the price here will automatically be updated, the subtotal will update, and the order total will update, and whatever you saved would update. Shipping depends how they are calculating the shipping. Sometimes some companies calculate shipping based on weight. Some companies calculate shipping based on cost. So again, it also depends who you are developing the e-commerce solution for. And this one row is called the line item of the shopping cart. And a line item would have information of item, quantity of the item, and price. Delivery is usually for the order, unless the business is supporting multiple ship tos. So you could be placing one order, but one order can, half of, like, one few items of the order could be going to New Jersey, and some items could be going to maybe, however, depending on how the business is supporting it, maybe to LA or even to Canada. So, and again, in the commerce world, you can support ideally when you are adding. So if I were to add this same item again, ideally it will show up as 2, but it can be tweaked with a setting, because when you want to do some sort of personalization on an item, you might want to have 2 separate line items, even though the web ID is same. So then you can define if you want to have some sort of personalization on that item. For example, if you are buying 2 red shirts, but on each shirt you want to have name of the person that you are buying it for, then it will need to be treated as 2 separate line items. And that is something you can do with most commerce platform with a flag or a parameter that you pass into the add to cart method. I know I'm going fast because there is a lot to cover. So at the end, I will stop for quick round of questions. In e-commerce terminology, there are different words used for the cart. It's called cart, basket, shopping basket, or shopping cart. As I explained, a line item is a cart has a cart, like cart lines or collection of line items or items. You can either type in your promo code, or you have rewards points or loyalty program, and you can then spend those points towards your purchase, and that will reduce the order total that you have to pay. Discounts, they can be on cart or on item. depending on your membership level or depending on if you are redeeming your reward points. So what does it mean by on cart or on item? So sometimes when you are buying online, you will see that exclusions apply, or even when you have a printed coupon, there are exclusions apply. So if you have a coupon that applies to shirt, probably that coupon will not apply to a pot. So when you apply that coupon, maybe you will get a message here that you don't have, or the items that you have in your cart does not qualify for that discount. Or the discount can be a generic coupon code which can apply on the cart. So basically that applies on the order total regardless the items that you have on your cart, and all that uh, is configurable within the Sitecore Commerce interface. Um, Coupons, there could be public coupons. So um, there could be like an email blast going out on the Christmas Eve that we have this sale, massive sale going on Christmas, and there is 30% off on everything you buy. Or there could be targeted one-time use coupons which are tied to a user's email address, and that user can be a member user or an anonymous user who once shopped on Macy's and now they are trying to get them back to do more shopping, and that coupon can only be used once. Um, and the sales tax, we just talked about it. Tax vary based on where you are buying it from. Also varies based on the nature of business. There are some businesses um, who are also required to charge tax on shipping. So in that situation, you might need to calculate tax on shipping. And then your estimated tax will be total of tax on your product total versus plus tax on your shipping, as your estimated shipping cost. And sales tax usually also warrants integration with a third-party tax calculation provider, which would do the tax calculation for you. The commerce platform that you are developing your solution on could be also handling, but most of the time, in my experience, I have mainly dealt with a third-party tax provider like Avalara or Vertex, and there are many more out there. So you just pass them an address and an order subtotal, and they do the calculation and give you a number or a rate at which the tax will be applied, and a number that this is before tax total and this is after tax total based on the shipping address you have provided. And then there are cart totals. So all of this that we are seeing here is completely driven by how the business wants to handle displaying the totals. At times, it could be confusing. There is product total and subtotal, which are sort of same. But sometimes the labels are different here. Sometimes you show subtotals, like subtotal. Sometimes they want to call it product total, or sometimes they just want to call it total. And then here, instead of order total, they might just want to say you pay and you saved. It's all about language, but underlying terminology is subtotal is the cost of product that you are paying, then shipping cost, then there is estimated tax based on the tax on total and tax on shipping if you are applying tax on shipping, and all of the numbers should total into order total. So this is also another fun part. And in most solutions I have seen that not the promo code, or maybe the promo code also, but this particular section is mostly reusable component on the cart page as well as in the checkout part of the solution. But again, depending on the user experience and the design, it might not be. But the underlying logic might be the same. So the UX might look different, but the backend logic might stand same. So it's very critical and very important to identify reusable logic and push it as further down in the backend channel as possible, so that all you are handling by the time you are implementing your features is simply view or UX related logic. Then there is also mini cart. So again, most situations, this mini cart, when you add an item to the cart, it shows the number of line items in your cart. It doesn't show, for example, let me go back. So for example, if I have two of these, it is still gonna show one line item because it's the row that I have. So if I have it depends, like if I have three rows here with different items, then I will see three. Or if I but I only have one, so when I go to the when I look at the mini cart, it's gonna show one. And again, it depends on business. Maybe the business says no, we actually want to show the total of the quantity and not total of the items. Then you that logic might change, but usually it's number of line items in your cart are shown in the mini cart. And in terms of UX experience, many a times you will see that when you mouse hover or click on this, it just kind of drops the cart or takes you to the cart. That's all user experience. Now we come to the checkout. So if you are already if you aren't already signed in, this is a typical page that you might see, that they are still giving you a chance or an opportunity to sign in, so that maybe if you are at a member level or if you have enough rewards point, you can apply those rewards point towards your payment. That would reduce your overall payment for this order. So you can sign in or you can check out as guest. Then comes the shipping address. So you provide shipping address, first name, last name. And some of these fields are usually required fields, like first name, last name, line 1, city, state, zip. These are usually required fields. Now, depending on how, again, they want to implement this feature, you might be integrating with third-party zip code lookup services, which you just need to enter the zip code and the city and state will be automatically filled. And then you will fill out the address line and first name and last name, and then you can select the shipping method. All of all of the shipping methods that you are seeing, you can set those up in Sitecore Commerce. And again, these shipping methods could be different providers. So shipping address form will have standard form validation for required fields. And there are shipping options. So shipping options would be, if the business is shipping with multiple shipping providers, you will see multiple shipping options. It could be FedEx and USPS, or it depends in based on the address that user is providing, the shipping provider could change, and you might need to handle that. So keep all of this in mind, but don't be scared of it. It's all fun. Then there is a shipping cost. Then it comes to shipping provider. As I mentioned, you could be integrating with FedEx or USPS or UPS or Royal Mail if you are developing a website for a UK client, or whichever the shipping providers are. So globalization also plays a big role. If you are if you are developing a multi locale website, then you might end up integrating with multiple shipping providers based on the regions that you are developing that website for. So the fun just multiplies when that happens. Address validation is done in two ways, as I described. There will be standard fields validation for required field, standard zip code format validation. Then when the user submits the address, there could be address validation that you do through FedEx or UPS or USPS. And they might or might not resolve the address. Many a times you might have seen that when you submit your address, for example, if you have say 123 some street, the address kind of gets normalized or standardized and comes back at 123 main ST, and there will be a dialog coming up that, do you want to use this address or do you want to use the address that you have entered? Sometimes if there is a slight variance in that address, and the customer decides to choose address that they have entered, it is possible that the merchant or the business that you are developing your application for would have to pay some fee to FedEx to deliver to that address, because it's It's the user chose not to go with the FedEx standardized address. So some integration fun to keep in mind that this could come up. And when they say that no, let them just go, and you might want to say that, well, do you want to check the kind of contract you have with FedEx, that do you have to pay extra fees, or basically you are trying to recommend the best solution for your client, at the same time making sure that the user experience is not disrupted, so that the overall conversion rate is not interrupted. Billing, same deal, some required field, and however you want to handle the errors or exceptions is entirely up to the design team or the business, however they want to show that it's a required field. Some businesses want to just want to show just a generic message that please fill out required fields, and all the fields will be red, highlighted in red, or something like this, where they have like message under each field. And with Sitecore XP and Sitecore Commerce, all this comes together, and all of this can be handled in the content managed dictionary, or you can have a custom implementation of labels, or you can just have a generic message that please fill out the required fields, or a valid input is required, that kind of thing. So you provide your billing address, then comes payment. So payment options. So depending on the nature of business, there could be multiple options available. Usually a website like Amazon or Macy's or Kohl's or Wayfair, they have a credit card option. But a website that sells costlier goods like furniture or diamonds or any kind of jewelry, they potentially could be offering a credit line, which is like offered by PayPal, called PayPal Credit. That would be one example. It's like PayPal creating. I'm not gonna go into too much detail of it because it's gonna get confusing. But basically, it's like you are getting a limited time credit card where PayPal is going to pay on behalf of you this $10,000, and then you will pay to PayPal every month as if you were paying. You decide on an amount, and then you start paying PayPal back. And after a certain time, if you are not paid in full, PayPal would start charging you interest on the credit that's remaining on your balance. There are also invoices that's typically seen in a B2B setup, where distributors can go online and they do this bulk purchase and they say, invoice me later. So once they receive the goods on their end, they also receive the invoice, and then they have certain time to clear that invoice with the main business or the main warehouse, and then they clear their invoices, and so they can pay in term with invoices too. They don't have to pay like upfront, but they just pick up the goods and they pay later. And so these are the payment options, that you want to pay with credit card, or you want to pay with invoices, or you want to pay with credit lines. And then there are payment methods. So for a credit line, the one I'm very much aware of is PayPal. I know that some businesses actually offer their own credit line. I don't remember any names on top of my tongue, but similar goes for invoices. Is business specific. When it comes to credit cards, it depends on business which type of credit card they want to accept. Most online businesses accept all credit cards, unlike some like brick and mortar store or small shops where you go to, they don't probably accept American Express. But it's entirely up to the business. Like if they decide that we only want to accept Visa and Master, that's the option that's the payment method you have to implement for credit card payment option. And all this is configurable in Sitecore Commerce interface. You could be also integrating with a payment provider, and there are tons of payment providers out there. PayPal, and then there is authorize.net, and there are many more. The reason what payment provider does is they do AVS and CVV check. So what AVS check? AVS check is validating the credit card detail or the credit card that the user has provided against the billing address the user has provided to make sure that this is a correct and legitimate, a legit credit card that somebody else is not trying to use. And depending on the nature of business, you may or may not be asked to add the security code of the credit card. And if the business is requiring you to enter the CVV code, then they will also do the CVV check that for this given credit card and billing address, is this the correct security code? And once those both checks are passed, then only your payment will be processed. Otherwise, you will get a message back that something went wrong. Please try again later. For security purposes, always avoid showing the exact message to the front or to the website or the user that, oh, your security code was not validated. That means you are giving them information that what was wrong with the credit card, and if it's a fraudulent purchase, they might try to use a different combination, and if they get lucky, you will have a fraud transaction. So as a industry best practice, whenever there is something wrong with the payment, we only show something went wrong with the payment. Either call your credit card merchant, or like Visa or Master, or try again later, or call customer service. We never give out exact reason what was wrong with the payment information that they provided. Okay. Then you get to the review page of the order. So here everything is one page: the shipping address you provided, the shipping method you selected. If you want to gift wrap this order, if you want to add a gift message to this order. Some businesses even provide a particular date that you can have that order delivered, typically flowers and chocolates websites. Then you have a summary of the merchandise or the products that you are purchasing, your payment method, and for security reasons, you don't show the full credit card number. You only show the last 4 digits. Billing address, and again, this is for credit card. If it's PayPal, you might just display transaction ID and nothing else, or you can just simply display payment processed through PayPal and nothing else. Then the billing address, then contact information, phone number, etc. And again, this information can be structured in the page the way the client wants. So don't tie to this view. This is just a view that I captured from Macy's website. And then you place your order. So when you review everything. Again, there you still have a opportunity to edit if you need to edit anything. This is the basket ID. Again, this is for Macy's. You may or may not be working with this, but this bag ID is referred to basket ID or shopping basket ID in your backend implementation. Then you submit the order. So what happens when you submit the order? If you were purchasing in a store, a brick and mortar store, when you go to the counter and you submit your payment, your credit card is they give you a receipt and then you walk out. You paid the amount. Here in checkout, in e-commerce world, your card is authorized for the amount of the order. Your card will not be charged until the order is shipped. That's the standard rule, that businesses cannot charge your card unless they have shipped your goods. And even in some events, until the order is delivered, they may not charge your card. So when you click on place order button in this view, in the place order will trigger few things in synchronization. One, first, it will authorize the payment. If the payment is authorized, everything is good with your card. The AVS CVV check passed. Your card has had enough fund to pay for the order that you are trying to purchase. Then the credit card company will authorize your payment. Then your order will be submitted. And in most commerce platform, it kind of becomes the basket that you were carrying around in the store now becomes a bag that you are going to carry out of the store. So basically, a basket becomes an order or a purchase order in e-commerce terminology. And once everything is done, the basket is converted into purchase order. That order is saved in the backend system. The user will see the order confirmation page. They will also receive an order confirmation email. In most websites, the order confirmation page can also have a printable version if they would like to have a printout of that order, or they are definitely going to have order confirmation email too. Some events can also be tied to this, some engagement tracking, engagement event goal tracking that you can track based on that, which you can track which product is selling the most. For example, in this range of shirts that our store has, the red shirts are selling the most. And within the red shirts, the size L or size medium is selling the most. All that can be tracked and captured to enhance user experience. So what happens to the cart? The cart will get empty. So after you receive the order confirmation email, try, if you are making a purchase after you receive an order confirmation page, try to click on cart, and when you go to cart page, your cart will be empty. There will be nothing in your cart because the order was already purchased and there is nothing new you have added to your cart. What happens after? So in a real world or in a brick and mortar store, once you make the payment, you walked out with your goods, but now you have made the payment. So from your side, you have authorized the merchant to charge your credit card, say for $50. But now the merchant has to do some work to get that order to you. So what happens? It's called the order fulfillment process, or ERP process, or warehouse process, whatever you want to call it. Different merchants and different clients or different businesses have different words for it, but ultimately it's the same thing, that what is to be done after an order is placed, how that order is processed, shipped and packed. Picked, packed, and shipped. It's the common terminology, that the order is picked up, to be packed, and then to be shipped. So then order shipment is created. Again, shipment is also another familiar or usually used word that you will hear a lot. And then if you remember, you authorized the payment. So now you will hear another word called payment settlement or payment capture or payment acquire, based on what payment provider or what payment integration, what kind of payment provider integration you are dealing with. Mostly these words remain the same, settlement or acquiring payment or capture. Payment capture does not happen until the order is shipped. So once the order is shipped, the payment will be captured. So, and it's usually settled within, I think, depending on the payment provider, it's settled within a prescribed time frame, like few days or few hours. That depends on the payment provider that your merchant or your client is working with, and however they have set up their contract. Then once the order is shipped, you will get your shipment email where you can track your order, and then your order is delivered to you. So that's the checkout process. So some buzzwords, coming to an end to my presentation, but some buzzwords to keep in mind, or just Google them, and you will find tons of information. I still do this a lot. Like, put Sitecore 9 or Sitecore in front of every of these words, and you will find tons of articles, blogs, and videos. Sitecore community is really active, even with commerce aspects of commerce things too, and you will find tons of information. Data load, so how the products are loaded, and if the business is redesigning their website, or up until now they were just brick and mortar business, but now they are coming online, but they do have some registered or loyal customers that they want to bring on. So you will also do like a customer load. So these are the behind the scene or uh, on the side of the things that you will do. um, just like catalog schema. So catalog schema is what properties the products have, like how the prices are set, what characteristics or attributes are to be set on product. And again, that depends on the nature of business. If it's a coffee, then you probably would be handling with roast type or grind, or whether it's a ground coffee or beans, that kind of thing. Versus if it's shirts, you will have color, size, that kind of thing. Or if it's diamond, you will have carats and size and um, metal of the jewelry, that kind of. So product attributes, uh, and then how they want to structure the catalog browsing will define your catalog structure. And your catalog schema is the attributes and properties that you decide on products and variants. There are some properties that will sit at the product level. There are some properties that will sit at the variant level, like color, size, or variants. Order schema is also the same thing, that what the fulfillment house or the people who are sitting at warehouse, what do they expect in terms of order information, and that's what you will need to put on your order schema. Most commerce platforms, including Sitecore Commerce, has a standard order schema that you will very less likely need to change. But there are always some things that businesses want you to implement, which is not provided out of the box. So you might end up extending order schema if need be. An order schema will involve the overall order information, like shipping address, billing address, payment information, and then collection of cart lines or order lines, which will hold the information of the products that user has purchased, and what type of information within the order lines the fulfillment house is expecting. Based on that, you may or may not need to extend the overall order schema. Fulfillment, AVS, we talked about. Nature of business, it could be B2C, B2B, or customer to customer. Um, Omni-channels, product reviews. It could be implemented within Sitecore interface, or you could be integrating with third-party product reviews providers, where they will handle moderating whatever reviews the customers are submitting and then publishing them on a prescribed within a prescribed time frame. Points, loyalty programs, coupons, discount campaigns, these are all marketing aspects of e-commerce business, and Sitecore provides a marketing manager interface out of the box to handle all of that. Then comes product information management, something you might end up implementing if you are dealing with like a very large scale business or a enterprise level solution, versus like a small scale or medium size solution, where they don't have they have so many products or so many merchandise to offer that content authors cannot manage that. So what they do is they just populate basic information of product in a separate system, and then you will end up implementing integration between that system and your commerce platform, so that a batch will run in timely fashion, like overnight or once in a week, however they want to set it up, and it will integrate product information into commerce. And then some of those properties will be also pulled into content, and that content authors can manipulate or change or update as necessary, and ultimately will get to the website or present it to the user. Customer relationship management is also another aspect. It's possible that based on the solution that you are developing, you may also end up developing a call center experience for the users, where typically some of the things that I have handled in past is allowing call center representatives to sign in on behalf of a customer and help them placing the order while they are showing them what exactly is going on in a screen share session. So all of that comes into the CRM aspects of things. And again, there are CRM providers like Microsoft Dynamics, AX, and there are others too that you may end up using. And Sitecore Commerce integrates really well with Microsoft Dynamics AX, and I think Salesforce too. Then ERP, it's enterprise resource planning, is basically whatever happens after an order is placed. That's where ERP comes in play. It is possible at times that ERP and PIM sort of will merge, and the product pricing will always come from an external system, and it will be just populated in our commerce platform. Based on the size and scale of business, of course. It's possible that the business just wants to set up everything in Sitecore Commerce. They don't want any third-party integration into any ERP system. They just want to set up everything in Sitecore Commerce. Or they do want to have a third-party integration where they have everything set and all you have to do is pull it in Sitecore interface, and so that the content managers can then update or modify content aspects of things like product description or images, that kind of thing. Images, talking about images, you may end up doing digital asset DAM integration, which might not be a new word, because I think some of you might have done that kind of integration with even a Sitecore solution. So that's another buzzword. Just Google about, and just Google order integration and order history. You will find tons of information. It's basically for those signed in users who placed an order and now they can log in and look at their order history in Macy's or Amazon website, that what orders they placed in past, just in case if they want to place the same order again. Customer, understanding difference between customer and contact and how they integrate. Search, how commerce search works, facets and filters. What are the cross sells and upsells? Basically, cross sells are when you are buying. The cross sells terminology is when you are buying a product. Say you are buying a shirt, so they might be doing a cross sell with you that, oh, with this shirt you might want to buy this pair of trousers or this pair of shoes. And upsells is maybe you are buying like a 0.25 carat diamond ring, and they try to do upsell that customers who viewed this item ended up buying this 1 carat diamond. So that's upsell. Basically, they are encouraging you to buy something more expensive than what you are looking at. And cross sells is they are encouraging you to buy products in bundle. That, oh, people who bought this also bought this. That's cross sells. And basket, purchase order, saved order. So basket is basket when you are carrying it around and putting things into your basket, and purchase order is when you walk out of the store with the bags. Try to understand as much as you can, as much as information you can find on, and understand the catalog schema is basically architecture, basically a normalized structure of information that probably many of us did while understanding SQL Server or SQL Server data management. That's basically it is, but making sure that it addresses all the requirement. Order schema, that's the ultimate goal, making sure that the fulfillment house has what they need to process an order, and understanding the integration points and where they are occurring and how you are equipped to integrate those. You have all the information you need at what point, like what are the tolerance points in terms of validating information, and in making sure that those tolerance points are well integrated into your implementation or your logic. And which system will trigger the integration, like whether it's going to be from website to ERP or from ERP to website. That's very critical to understand. And understanding the line of separation at a high level so that you can then drill down to design a better user experience that also works for your client in terms of managing their commerce and corporate content and integration of both. And when and how they all come together and displayed to the user to drive a user's experience towards their online shopping experience. Commerce management, some of the systems that I work with, the one that you are seeing below is this is a Sitecore experience commerce and the tools that are available. And this is how the e-commerce with Sitecore interface looks like. And the common tools that you would end up working with are catalog, orders, customers, and marketing. So catalog will handle all the product related stuff. Orders will deal with all the orders related stuff like wish lists or standard baskets or saved orders or purchase orders. Customers would be the customers that are tied to these orders, and customers will also be connected with the Sitecore contacts. And marketing is the interface or tool that will handle promotions, discount, and campaigns, stuff like that. There are commerce platforms out there. The one that's very near and dear to me is Sitecore Experience Commerce, because I really like Sitecore. I have worked with Insight Commerce. There is UCommerce, Episerver, SAP. SAP is Java based. There is also Drupal, and there are many more like Orchestra, Active Commerce. There are many more out there. But as long as you understand the underlying concepts of general e-commerce, then you should be able to work with any of these platforms, as long as you are equipped to ask the right questions and follow the terminology that's thrown around in the meeting room for commerce projects. Questions?
Okay, there is a question
Mm-hmm.
from Andres Villenas. So, where the commerce data is stored, and does it have its own database? And
Yes.
is there any product thing like when you use Sitecore Insight?
Um, okay. So when you are using Sitecore with Insight Commerce has its own set of databases, and you will be integrating with you will be integrating in the API mode of ways. But when you are using Sitecore Experience Commerce, they all kind of sit within the same paradigm, but there will still be separate Sitecore Commerce databases. They won't be like just a Sitecore master database. You will see separate Sitecore databases that will handle products and orders and marketing aspects of e-commerce.
Okay, cool. I don't see any other question. So, uh, thank you, Hiral. That was really helpful. Um, I think, Navid,
Yes,
are you
thank you.
ready? It's your
I'm
turn.
online and I was like listening. Thank you, Hetal. That was a really nice presentation from you.
Thank you.
Um, so I will be talking about Sitecore Experience Commerce specifically today, while Hetal covered the overall terminology. So I will be focusing on specifically to Sitecore Experience Commerce, and I'm just going to share my screen with the slides, and let's dive into it. Okay, let me share my screen. Let me know if you guys can see the
Yeah, we can
screen.
see your PowerPoint.
Okay,
Okay, there you go.
okay. All right, so the topic for today is let's take Sitecore Experience Commerce for a spin. Basically, Sitecore has developed this amazing and great tool to market to look at to tackle the commerce market. It's been in progress. They've been historically they were version 7 and 8, but recently they have come out with version 9 that was released in January 2018. So this is a pretty new tool and pretty amazing tool, and you'll get to know more about it in just a few minutes. Um, just a little bit of introduction about me. I'm a Sitecode Technology MVP 2018. I work at Interactive Strategies. Don't work for Sitecore, so some of the things, I'm really excited about this product, and I'm really enthusiastic about this thing. So this is a great product from Sitecore, and that's why I'm here presenting you guys. I do blog about things, so that's my personal blog, and most of them is all about Sitecore. There's a Twitter and a Slack. If you are a developer or a marketeer and you are not on a Sitecore Slack, you need to get on there. It is an amazing tool where you see wealth of information flowing through it every single day, and it's very hard for me to keep up with them technically. All right, so let's jump into the topic. So the topic is, if like somebody would like to ask me, how can you define what is Sitecore Experience Commerce? Can you define it in one line? So the one line that I can tell them is, it's a powerful framework for content and commerce, which means you traditionally, as people will have different platforms or different systems where they will have their manage their commerce as compared to their content management system. But with the help with this add-on or this commerce platform, what we can get is uh, a blend of content and commerce, which gives you, like, it blends content, commerce, and contextual intelligence to provide unique and personalized shopping experiences. Because nowadays, it's like, if you are just people are just viewing your content on the website, and you're not telling them like, this is the content and this is kind of like a related product or something that you are interested in, then you're kind of losing a lot of market. And when this thing, where you have commerce and content all together, it becomes a really powerful tool. It is an ideal thing for B2B, B2C, or any B2X brands selling online. So if you are an existing customer, or if your website is on any existing platform, and you're trying to look for an upgrade or look for an alternative, Sitecore Commerce is the one that you must look at. And finally, commerce today is not just about the cart; it's about the customer experience. So it's about the customer. The better experience you will give to the customer, the more likelihood of the customer is going to come back, and is going to make more and more purchases from your shop. So that was just a brief introduction for commerce. So what I'll be doing next is, I will tell you the top features for the commerce platform. Um, so number one feature is shops. Is It allows you to create multiple online shops, which can tailor to meet your needs regarding currency, shipping, or language, or payments uniquely. So for example, if you are a business, if you're running a business which is selling in USA, Canada, Mexico, Ecuador, each of these four countries will have different payment requirements, different currency requirements, different taxes requirements. And if you just want to use one platform, you can use Sitecore Experience Commerce to manage all of that thing pretty easily using that platform. The screenshots you see on the right hand side is from the reference server front, which I will be demoing in the later part of the presentation today. So they're just like sneak peeks into what you're gonna see. Catalog, simply put, is just like a is ability is it gives you the ability to create collection of products and manage them within your shop. So catalogs, just consider them as your regular catalogs that you see, that you go to any store and you see the catalog. It could be a spring catalog, it could be a fall catalog, any kind of catalog that you see. It just contains a collection of products. Next is the concept of inventory. So the inventory management wasn't there in the previous version of Sitecore Commerce, but it's been introduced in Sitecore Experience 9, which means you can, if you have multiple stores and you want to manage your inventory among those stores, you can easily manage inventory. Next, we have fulfillment. So XC9 allows you, complete fulfillment management for your digital products or for your physical products. It allows you uh, it allows you, to track I mean, like, where's your order is going to be, or what are different payment fulfillment options are. Like, you want to send it today or overnight or standard, whatever it is. There are some options which are out of the box, but if you want to extend them, that's also possible. Then comes shopping cart. So shopping cart is like, the the bread and butter of any commerce platform. It will gives you ability to add, remove, or update products while you are browsing while you're browsing the shop within on the website. Then we have a checkout process. So a checkout process, it comes with a checkout process which is very flexible, and it could capture all the necessary information that is required to complete the order. So what this platform provides, not only ability to create all those products, but also a set of tools that you will see to display those products and um, set up your website pretty easily. Payments, it provides you the ability to integrate with any third-party payment providers. For example, there's an example for Braintree integration, and out of the box, it comes with a Braintree sandbox integration uh, to get you started with. If your website or if your project requires to integrate with some other payment provider, that's also possible. Then we have order management. So order management is basically managing the orders throughout their life cycle, like how they're gonna, what kind of discounts were applied. If somebody wants to refund it or return it, what can we do if somebody has not made the payment correctly, or somebody made the order and they want to cancel the order. All of those things can be managed through the module. Pricing. Pricing is a really powerful functionality that comes with this Sitecore Experience Commerce. They've introduced this, you can have list price, you can have price cards, and you can even extend those pricing components to include any sort of prices that you would like to display on your website. Then there's a powerful promotions. Most of the websites that you will see, or online website you will see, they will have some sort of a promotion engine. They will have some sort of promotion going on for a specific thing, like if it is a holiday season, or if it is Black Friday, they want to mark certain products off. So Sitecore Experience Commerce comes with a really powerful promotion engine, and it uses Outlook styles rule, which you can set to say, okay, if somebody's buying this product A, I want to give them free shipping. If somebody buying a product B, I want to give them 10% discount, and so on. Then we have entitlement. So you can track entitlement ownership and used for the things like digital downloads or subscriptions. So most of the days, there's like a subscription model is pretty popular these days for some of the products. Like people will subscribe to a service, or people will buy something, a digital a PDF or a digital online video. So you can track the ownership, like how long that product is valid for that person throughout the website. And then finally, it's the customers. So it comes with its own comprehensive customer management portal where you can view all the orders placed by the customer, track their shipment, and much more. You are not limited just for this thing. You can, if you want to connect it with a CRM system or a membership management system, you can also connect it to those systems as well. Marketing and personalizations. So Sitecore Commerce comes fully integrated with marketing and personalization. It has so if you have worked with Sitecore before, you will know that Sitecore really thrives on its marketing and personalization ability, which kind of blends into XC9 or Sitecore Commerce. So from the day one, you can have things for personalization or A/B testing, multivariant testing, marketing automation, and so on. It comes with commerce specific data tracking events and goals. So out of the box, you will see 43-page events, 4 goals, 2 outcomes, and so on. The reason is what the reason to provide these things upfront is for the end marketeers to focus on the experience of the website rather than focus on getting the website up there, so that they could start personalizing these things and they could start selling up their products. Then we have some commerce specific personalization rules. So there's the rule engine has been extended to include some commerce specific rules. So like if somebody's from a specific location, you can apply certain discount, or you can apply uh, certain kind of like promotion to them, and so on. Okay, SXA storefront. So commerce is commerce storefront is built on Sitecore Experience Accelerator. If you have not worked with SXA before, this may be a new thing for you. But if you have worked with SXA before, you'll be happy to know that there are additional SXA components which are specific to commerce to ease up your development time. So SXA allows us to do parallel side co-production, which means you don't end up spending too much time development, rather than you focus on getting the things done and getting it out of the door pretty quickly. It The module comes with 40 plus commerce specific components for shop development. So for things like order checkout process, or order details, or product information, product images, all these kind of things, they come pre-built or predefined, and you just have to assemble them to make your website. So if you're seeing on the right hand side, you'll see some commerce cart or commerce related components on the right hand side, which will come handy when you are developing the website. And on top of that, you have 80 plus SXA component for your regular content development. So if you have a regular website and you want to use it, you get this SXA components as well, which is an added benefit. Right. Business tools. So business tools and Sitecore Experience 9, they get a complete overall. They get a pretty nice revamp. They get a like a they built from the ground up. Historically, they were Sitecore were using Speak to display these business tools, but in Sitecore Experience 9, they're built using Angular 4, and they're data driven, which means you can extend them pretty easily, and they are uh, using latest technologies. They're really simple to extend, and there is a microservice architecture under the hood that allows them to display the specific data that they interact with the shops, or they interact with the different modules that you will see. There is federated authentication, which means that you will have a single identity server which can handle requests to authenticate you if you're accessing different sections within this business tools portal. Uh, the federated authentication is also used for the API call. So every API call has to have a token which will be authenticated against a central server, so making all the API calls really secure and flexible. On top of that, it comes with these 7 core business tools, which are merchandising, inventory, pricing, promotions, order, customers, and relationship definitions. I will be showing you a hands-on demo for these things later on. But if you want to have additional tools, you can have an additional tool that you can add it to the system. So for example, if you want to hook it up with your CRM system or some other system and display it in this dashboard, you can do that. You can also extend the existing modules. For example, if you want to show like a like a summary graph of like how many products have been sold, or which is the top most selling product within your website. You can have a graph displaying that thing. So all sorts of creative ideas that you can do over here. On top of that, it is really simple to install. So it's built on the new SIF or Sitecore installation framework, which means that it is really customizable way to install this thing. All you have to do is run one simple PowerShell script that will allow you to install all of the Sitecore different components and dependencies. In case you run into in case you run into issues, keep an uninstall script handy on your hand so that you can run the uninstaller. I've posted one script on my blog, so you can get it from there. Another thing is a typical thing that I've people ask is the the SIF installation scripts. They install it on like they're designed to install it on like one machine, so you'll have all your databases and your Solar indexes all in the one machine. But in real world, you'll have them on separate instances or on separate servers. So what you can do, you have two options. Either you can play up with the Sitecore installation framework, update the scripts to separate them out, or you can install them on one machine and then manually extend them out or scale them out to different server and update your configuration settings. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. Sitecore Commerce also come with native Azure PaaS support, which means you can provision Sitecore Commerce in Azure with a very little effort. This allows you to use massive Azure infrastructure for and resources like web apps and Azure SQL databases. It's not I mean, for smaller organization or for small businesses, this may not be a big deal, but for large enterprise organization, where if you expect to where you expect that your traffic will increase 200% or 300% during the Christmas season, or during the Halloween, or during the Black Friday season, and you have to quickly scale it up. This is a great ability to do those things. So you can scale it up or scale out, and when it's regular traffic or like normal traffic, you can scale it down. And it's also ideal for situations where people cannot afford to have like a zero downtime. Typically, if you have like a traditional multiple servers and multiple data centers, and with a cold failover or cold backup, it can take some time for it to come up. But with Microsoft Azure support, it becomes really highly available architecture. All right, moving on, just a few more slides to go. So this is so when you install the Sitecore Commerce module, it installs additional things. So for example, it installs two additional databases. One is called the shared database, and the other is called global. So the shared database stores things related to shops or the catalog and other things, and the global database stores related to policies or configurations. Application role. So think of application role as IaaS websites. So when you install it, it install these four additional IaaS website on your machine. So you'll have shops, authoring, DevOps, and minions. The reason it is spread out into four different roles is to allow for scalability purposes. So all these four websites can be on the same server in a development environment, but in a production environment, they could be in a different servers. Uh, Shops will is mainly responsible for displaying the front end of the website. Authoring is responsible for making updates to the products. DevOps is mostly for developers to update the schema or bootstrap it or config changes. And Minions is mostly used for doing post order processing. So if when a customer submits an order, then there's like a minion task which goes through and process those orders. So if it is one order, it's fine. But if it's like thousands and thousands of order per hour, then you may need to scale that thing up. Uh, Additional roles are identity server, which is the central server, which will authenticate all the API requests before they can be executed, and a BizFX, which is responsible for handling business tools. Indexing role, it comes with additional Sitecore indexes or search indexes or Solar indexes for catalog, order, and customer. So catalog will store information related to products or sellable items. Orders will store information related to order history, and the customers will store information related to existing customers. Okay, powered by, or what is the technology under the hood? So traditionally or historically, Sitecore Commerce had some legacy components, desktop components, VBDLLs that were really, which were really blocking them from scalability purposes. But what Sitecore has done is they have rewritten everything from scratch on .NET Core, which is the Microsoft latest cross-platform framework. So we are not dependent on any more legacy DLLs or anything like that. It's all brand new, cutting edge, leading technology that you can use. And all the communication or all the data exchange that happens, it happens over industry standard OData protocol. So any request you make to the database or any request handling behind the scene is all through API control. Okay, with that slide, I come to end of my presentation, but now it's demo time. So for the demo, what I will be doing is I will be making a purchase from the website, taking you through the different steps which are available. And then I will be going into the backend, into the business office tools, showing you what are the new business office tools that are available. And then we will have a look at the SXA components and how can we set up a landing page using SXA components. Okay, so let me minimize this thing. Right. So what you see on the screen is a Sitecore storefront. I have not developed this thing. This comes from Sitecore. You can download it and install it and play around with it. So on the top of on the top of the screen, you see a carousel which is displaying some products from the Sitecore Commerce. Then there's like some promoted products, TV or laptops, and so on. On top of it, you see all this top navigation, which is actually there are different categories. So you can have appliances, which will display kitchen appliances, audio, which will display mostly things related to audio. And on the left hand side, you will see different facets related to these searches. So you can, if you just want to look for speakers, you can click on speakers and it will show you speakers only, and so on. So there's also a login. So I can log in from here. I can make a purchase without being logged in, but I just want to log in for the purpose of demonstration. So I already have an existing account which I created. So I'm just going to log in, click on a sign in, and I'm going to log in a bit and show you the account management. So for any user, you see this, if I click on this account, it will take me to my account page and it will show me all the orders that I have made so far. Kind of gives me a recent order history. So what I've purchased, I can click on any of the order and I can get into the details of the order. On the left hand side, I get to see like my address book, so like I can add a new address, or I can use one of the existing address. Okay, so now let's go into and make a purchase. So I'm going to go back to the home page, and I am going to buy this watch over here. So let me click on the home banner, and I get into this product page. So on the product page, you see all these, it comes with predefined sample imagery. There's like a product price. There's a color variation if I want to use a different color, and then there's a quantity if I want to have more than one, or if only one. So I'm just going to click Add to Cart. After I click Add to Cart, it's saying what it's doing behind the scene is calling those APIs and it's updating my cart. So if I hover over here, I see that this has been added to my basket already. So this has been added. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add one more thing. I'm going to add this laptop as well. So if I click on a laptop, I see the laptop is 17.3 laptop, and I'm going to click Add to Cart here as well. Adding this thing to cart, now I can see that I have two products. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on View Cart and take you through the checkout process. So I do have a discount code here. I'm just going to copy it. So I do have a discount code which I could apply, which will give me additional $10 off from this thing. So you will see once the discount is applied, the prices will update, and I get a total discount of 10 USDs. So I get an additional discount of 10 USD by applying my discount code. Right. So let's move into the checkout page. So once I go into the checkout page, the first thing is asking me what are my delivery options, or where I want to deliver the product. So I could either deliver everything to a single address, or maybe I want to ship them to different addresses. So maybe I want to deliver this watch to my home address. So I'm going to choose this is for my home, and I'm going to choose my shipping option. And it's a watch, so I don't care. I can just use a standard shipping option. And for laptop, I want to ship it to my office address. So I'm going to just use my office address. And I need it urgently. So I'm going to say, let me get it next day air. So I've specified these options individually, but I could have also done it all at the one place as well. I'm going to go continue to billing. So at the billing place, I have to specify different payment, that I have different payment options. So right now it's configured with all these different options. So I can see the summary. This is my summary details, uh, um, order details. So this was my subtotal. Then I added a $10 discount, but I'm getting another $7 discount because I am also eligible for free shipping. That's like a promotion running on the in the system. So I have two options. So my email address was pre-populated. If I haven't logged in, I had to enter email at this point. I have two options. Either I could apply a gift card, or I can apply pay using my PayPal. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use both options. I'm going to use a gift card, and I'm going to click on get balance. So I have $50 left. So I'm just going to use $10 from it. I'm going to add a gift card. So the gift card was added, which has reduced my credit card information price. So what I'm going to do then is I'm just going to use a test credit card available with Braintree sandbox environment, and I'm going to click validate payment. So this is just going to go and validate my payment. So this is a real thing. If I don't have the Braintree open at the back end and in another window, but if I make a payment, it will go to that payment provider. Okay, so I've added everything, but this thing is still blurred out because I need to select the billing address. So once I select billing address, this will become enable. So I can click next. So all of these components, one thing I forgot to mention, all of these components are SXA components. I have not done a single line of code for making up these components or writing code on for these components. All these calculations and all these savings and taxations, they've been predefined. They've been pre-built for you to speed up the build process. So next, I click on processing, continue to review. So the next step will be where I'll be able to review my order, and it's just gonna be like a review stage where I could see, okay, these are my order details, shipping costs, VAT costs, savings, and that's the total I'm paying. And then the next thing I could do is I can click on confirm order, which is going to take me to the next page and show me a order confirmation number. So I get this order confirmation number, and my status is pending. So just keep in mind that this is ending with 4UH and the status is pending. And we're going to go into the back end of the system right now. Okay, so I'm going to change the browser. So I'm going to use Chrome browser for that one because I don't want to mess around with the cookie. So when I log in, on my Sitecore Launchpad, in the previous versions, you will have business tools mixed up within these icons or shortcuts. But now there's like a separate icon for business tools, and if you click on it, it will open up a new tab or a new browser. And what it's doing right now is trying to authenticate itself from the central server. So it's passing in some requests and it says, okay, I can't authenticate you. So you have to log in again and authenticate yourself. So this is really useful if you have a different product management team as compared to the content management team. You can separate them out. Right now it's in localhost, but you can update these URLs and configurations as well. So what we see here are the different commerce control or commerce modules, commerce components, business office tools. So I'm going to start with the simplest one, which is the orders, because we have just completed an order. So let's start with the order and let's see what happens here. So I can see there's like 15 orders, one is pending, and then there's this kind of like a search and a filter. So what you will see in all of the module is this common layout structure where you'll have all of these like orders and search and different components laid out in like top to bottom fashion, where you can add your own or change. There's like a little menu bar here. So one of them will be pending. So this one is pending, which I just submitted through the website. If I click on it, I get into a more detailed view where I get the summary of the order. I get the details of the order, like what are the details, who made the order. Then I get payment information. These are my payment information, what kind of gift card I used, if there were any order entitlements. For example, if I was running a loyalty card thing and every dollar spent is equal to 1 point, these entitlements will have been added here. Excuse me. Then this is the fulfillment section. So this is just telling the fulfillment team that there's a standard one. Option name is standard, and then this is the fulfillment option name for next day for the uh, other order, other product that I have bought. Promotions, I get, these are the two promotion that were used. So one was card free shipping, and one was total amount off. So I had a $10 off and a $7 off promotions running. Okay, so that was a simple one. So let's go back into customers. So if I go into customers, it's a pretty simple interface. You see a list of customers, the most recent customers. I'm the only one because this is on my local host. So you can see what it has. It has all my details, my unique ID or entity ID, the list of my addresses. If I want to add a new address from here, I can click on this add, and then I can select a country, and then I could go on adding my address. It also lists the orders that I have made or my order history, and like the date and the statuses and everything, like the summary here. And if I can click on one of the existing orders, like this order here, I can get back into the detail mode of back into the order. One thing that you will see in a completed order is this thing here. So if somebody says, I want a refund or a return, you can start the refund process uh, for this particular item. And then if the order is still in pending mode or processing mode, you have additional states here, which are things like you can hold your order or you cancel your order and things like that. So if I'll go into my pending order, it should have those things. But let me just move on to the next module. Merchandising. So merchandising is basically a place where you have all your products or sellable products. So this thing over here right now is blank, but the idea is that over here there will be a report showing the hot selling products, or a graphical representation of what's the most total number of orders that have been sold and so on. So I can get into my product two ways. So let me, if I type in laptop and I click search, I would see a list of laptops, and I can click on to one of these laptop and I'll get to the laptop, or I can click on these catalogs, which is going to show me a detailed view, which will have categories or sellable items. I can add a new category by clicking here, and it will add a new category. If I want to add a particular product, I can click add product or add sellable item, and I can add an item here. So let's go into departments. So departments will have further categories. So let's go into computers and tables, and then into laptops. So and computer and tables, you can see that there's some sellable items at the root of the category, and some are like specific to laptops. So once I get into the laptops, I could see, okay, this is my 17.3-inch laptop. So now I'm in a final detail mode for the product. And over here, I can make updates to the thing. So if I click this edit button here, I can click, if I want to update the description, I can update the description, update the brand, add additional tags, and so on. If you want to extend these things, there's it is possible to extend these number of fields here. You're not just limited to these things. So next thing is pricing. So either you get a pricing as a list price, or you get it from a price card. So price card is kind of like uh, a big, like a predefined price for that product. Either you define it via price card, or you display it as a list price. So list price is over here. Over here, right now it's just in a USD. But if I want to add an additional price, so I will have to specify a currency, and then I can also specify its list price. If the pricing card is present and the list price is also present, then pricing card will take over the list price. Variants, you can have, the laptop could have variants. So let's say it's a laptop, but it has a different color. It has a gray color or a silver color. It could have those things as well. different identifiers and display properties. So identifiers are mostly useful if you're selling books. So it will have things like ISBN code and SKU or tax ID. So you can have these predefined, these pre-calculated or pre-structured identifiers for your product that you can use. And then we come to images. So you have these two selected images right here. If I click here and you want to search, you can add an additional image by searching up here. So the way it's not really gonna be intuitive, but if I type in this thing and I do search, it may have not found anything. But the idea is that you can find you can find the images from here, and then you can associate them within the product, and so on. So there's like tons of other collection or associations or mappings, that what are my item specifications or related products. So related products are easy to add. So let's say I want to add a related product and I want to search for um, audio audio car uh, audio setup, Habitat Pro audio setup. If I select that thing and I click add, it is going to add um, Habitat Pro audio setup. So that becomes like an association with the product. So if we are displaying this thing on a website and we also just want to display related products, you can manage a relationship from here. Similarly, there's like more training products and warranty products. Okay, let's go back to the home page. Then there's inventory. So inventory is where you can manage different inventory. So if you have multiple stores, like I had Habitat inventory, which comes out of the box, and then I created this new dummy store, which is a DC store. So you can create a new store by clicking here. If I click on a DC store and I want to say I want to move some of the products from my Habitat inventory to my DC store, I can go there and I can say, all right, let me select this Kids Fury Friends rabbit ear headphones. And what I want to do, I want to move a quantity of 1,000 to my DC store. So just keep an eye here. If I click this thing, this association, select my DC store, and I click and I enter a quantity of 1,000, and click OK. What will happen is it is going to update it. So the Habitat inventory is now 9,000, and then the DC store is 1,000. How we manage it on the front end is a different story, but this is, these are the back office tools to manage your shop. Pricing again, as mentioned earlier, there are like different price books. So you can have one price book across your website, or you can have one price book per product, so that you can, manage it a bit more. It depends how you want to manage it. So you can add a new price book. You can select the ID. So let's go into the Habitat price book, and let's go into price card. So you have variance price card, and in this one of these, this is, so you can see their statuses. So this is ready for approval, this is approved, and this is draft. So I'm going to go into the draft one. And what pricing will do and what price card will do. So right now, the way it is configured is the same as you will see if you have worked with the previous version of Commerce. Is that if I select this thing here and edit it. So what it's saying is if it is one quantity, then the price is 1,000. If somebody's buying 10 of the same of a product, then it's a 900. And then I could add another one. So if somebody's buying 15, then the price is, let's say, 800, and so on. So you're not limited to like the tier. So this is the tier-based pricing. The more, sometime, if it's like buy one get one free kind of thing. You could have, and then what has to happen after, once you change these pricing cards, you have to go through this approval process. So you do request for approval, and then the approver will approve it, and then it is applied to the products. Okay, then we have promotions. How are we doing in terms of time? Okay, we just over. So in terms of promotions, so promotions is you can apply promotions all across the website. So I'm going to choose one of the existing promotion, which is in a draft state. So I can click on a promotion, and then within the promotion, I could specify, like from here, I mean, I could start from here, starting in a new promotion that I want to add, but I am going to go into one of the draft one. And over there, I could say, okay, I want to have what is my condition? So my conditions are that I want to apply this. This is my catalog, and I want to apply this thing to my audio device. So if it is some kind of a Habitat Audio Pro setup, I can select this thing, and then this promotion is only valid for this product. The next thing is the set of qualifications. So what should happen here? So either you can have, uh, card subtotal should be equal to specific value. If it was a new one, the dropdown gives you a lot more options. But then, this is just an overview just to give you an understanding that this is how simple it is to configure promotion rules. And then you can apply a benefit. So if I select this thing, it says, so what do I need to do? So what you do is you take $10 off. So you take off $10 from your card subtotal. You can also assign public coupons, so you can give these public coupon to people, advertise it via email, or you can add private coupons. So private coupons, what will happen is private coupons are unique, so they will be auto generated, and they give you a list of private coupons where you can email it out to your individual customers. Okay, so and then we have relationship definition. So this is a new thing. This is where you basically define how you associate one thing with another thing. For example, if you want to have an association of a warranty product, this is where you will define that this is my warranty association. You cannot sell a warranty on its own. So if somebody's buying a laptop, only then you can sell the warranty with it. So this is where you can define that kind of association. Sometimes you need to bundle up products, or you need to associate something with something else. All right, so was a tour of commerce tools. The last thing I will do is I will go to content editor, and I am going to create a landing page which should look like one of these laptop landing pages. So I'm trying to recreate a page which looks like this. If it comes up, so I'm gonna try and create a page which looks like this. Okay, so if you've not seen SXA before, this is the SXA structure that you get. You can click on this tenant item, and you can click insert, and you can insert a new site, which gives you all these folders. But because this is commerce, so you have some specific commerce stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a new laptop page. So I'm going to click on default commerce page. I'm going to call it laptops 2. I already created a laptop. And then I'm going to go into experience editor mode. Let me shut this thing down. So within the experience editor mode, what I see here is I already have the header and the footer, and I just need to fill out the interior body. So traditionally, what we are used to do is we click in this placeholder settings, and we click on add here, and it brings up this select rendering model, and we can select a rendering. But with SXA, you get this drag and drop feature. So you can actually drag and drop any of these components onto the placeholder, and it will do the same thing as we do with the add rendering here. So the first rendering that I'm going to drop is catalog item container. Catalog item container is a I'm going to select the Mira laptop 17.3 GB. It's a pretty powerful component. What this will do is this will set the data source of my subcomponents to be this this item. So if I'm going to add any additional items, they will automatically take that, my source or my reference point is this Mira laptop. Next thing I'm going to do is I will add a splitter column. So splitter column will, what it will do, it will divide my placeholder into two things. So now I have these two sections here. Okay, so I'm gonna add in product images on the left-hand side. So when I'm going to add product images, it will add these images, and I didn't have to set any data sources because I've already used catalog item container. Similarly, I can add in product information here. And I'm going to pre-select this product information. So all of these commerce components are out of the box. So what happened here is it pulled the product information from the commerce products. Next thing is product inventory. So product inventory will tell us how many stock items we have for this product in our system. The next thing will be product variants. So I'm going to add product variants, which will tell us that if there's any variant, you get you'll get that variant thing, which is like red, blue, or it's a black or gray. And then I'm going to add product price. So all I'm doing is I'm just dragging and dropping it within these placeholder settings. And the final thing I'm going to add is I'm going to do add to cart. So once I do add to cart, I should be able to get to a page which is pretty much looking like that page. And let me hit save, and hopefully it'll get the exact prices from the system, or maybe something happened here. It didn't get it, but usually it does get the latest prices and stuff. So one thing that didn't I do was it's just missing this black. Is missing a white background, so which we can go back and do it. So let me just go into column, and I can select rounded corners container. And it should come up. Okay, I have to hit save. Okay, so that's the end of the presentation. So we can preview it, and you can publish it and preview it. But the idea was to tell you, there's like a lot of components that are available for you to start working with. There's like all the billing components, all the commerce component, everything is there for you to start working on it. Right, with that, we come to the end. And any questions? If you'd like to ask any questions, please let me know. There's a lot of resources on the webs, on even on YouTube. You can should definitely check out this master Sitecore class and all the usual Sitecore resources. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, David. I don't think we have questions so far, but it was really great. So please share those resources to the community. It was a really interesting session. And thank you to you and Herald too for collaborating with my Sitecore user group. And I hope you to see you soon in the Sitecore Symposium.
Hey,
Yes.
Navid,
Yes.
I have one question.
Sure.
Based on your Sitecore commerce experience so far, how do you think, like, how difficult it is to integrate any of these external payment or shipping providers?
So it comes with its own custom plugin development. So what you
Okay.
have to do is there's like a framework. It comes with its own like a Visual Studio template. You
Okay.
install it, and then it tells you like there's like specific things that you need to do. So you need to create a repository. You need to create order entity and all those things. So it looks pretty extendable. It looks pretty clean.
Okay.
So you the way you extend it is you add your own blocks or plugins and then extend the pipeline.
And that same applies for any text calculation or any basically third party
Yeah,
integrations,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Any
Okay.
any 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 kind of like if you want to introduce your own text gateway, you
Okay.
override the pipeline and introduce your own.
Oh, sweet. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you both. Bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye.